Hello, it's Ryan Bembridge from Mortgage Introducer, and I'm here with Danny Robinson from Grey Matters Specialist Lending. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Firstly, when did you set up Grey Matters and what does it do?
So we set up Grey Matters May of last year, 2017, off the back of working within banking, commercial environment. What it actually does is we're effectively a broker's broker. So cases where ordinarily brokers can't place because it's not their field, they're not comfortable with dealing in developments or certain short-term bridging, we step in, broke the case for them, place the case for them, and basically advise their clients if they wish to do.
Right, okay. So, bridging providers, are there too many in the industry now?
Personally, I think there are, simply because there's too many providers offering the same thing. They're all fishing in the same pond with the same angling equipment. Yes, every now and then they're going to get a bite and land some deals, but there's lots of not new ones. Every week there's a new bridging provider coming to the market, just offering exactly what's already in the market. So I think what we need moreover is more products, not more providers.
Right. What, from the same...
The same pool of lenders.
And we are seeing some lenders diversify, right, and going into sort of development and other things related to bridging. So maybe that's a trend that will continue.
The trouble with that is even going into development, unless you're offering something different in development, you're still offering what's there already. And brokers will always have their go-to providers. So unless you're going to offer anything different, as a new provider, you've got no way of winning new business effectively. And as an established provider, how do you win new business from brokers' go-to providers if you don't offer anything different? That's the problem. There's just not enough product.
What is there to offer differently at times?
Product differences, different criteria changes. Pricing is not such a key issue within the short-term market because it's about getting the deal done. But often it's the case of it takes too long. Bridging takes too long now. It can take up to six to 8 weeks to get a bridging deal through. It was never that way.
No, I mean that's not. The whole point of a bridger is meant to be fast,
exactly.
Right?
But I think with the changes in criteria now and how institutional funds are used, there are certain rules even bridging providers have got to follow. And then you get your more loose-touch bridging providers that will do things a lot quicker, but unfortunately you pay a lot more money for that privilege.
How have the PRA guidelines affected the buy-to-let market?
I think, to be fair, we were giving lenders and brokers alike were given plenty of warning about the PRA guideline changes. Unfortunately, the word guideline is what's caused a lot of confusion because some banks have taken them as being a bit more light touch with their actual interpretation of the guidelines. Others have gone very, very extreme. And all that's done is cause confusion within the broker market, which fundamentally affects the landlord, effectively, the buy-to-let landlord. But I do think the changes that were made, coupled with obviously the tax changes that come into the buy-to-let market, have hampered it slightly. It's helping now. We've had a bit of time pass. Lenders have got used to the guidelines and tweaking them slightly. Brokers and landlords alike are getting used to the guidelines, tweaking them slightly. But it has, especially in the London area, reduced lending because of what we call landlords being prisoners to the yield of their property and prisoners to their own lenders. They can't move because of the new changes have reduced with the stress testing and reduced what you can actually borrow, so you can't move as readily as you can before. I do think there was a need for the guidelines to regulate in some sort of way because too much of the lending that went on within the buy-to-let market was very fast and loose and allowed people to gear up far too highly, so almost become irresponsible, if you like.
Okay. Is there a need for regulation within the specialist lending sector?
To a degree, I think there is, and there are obviously different variances of specialist lending. I do think it will help if it can be regulated in some degree, certainly within the short-term environment, because it will regulate lenders perhaps showing a bit more concern and being a bit more diligent about the deals they're actually willing to do. So we're not seeing so many properties being repossessed because gearing was too high or the exits were never even reasonable exits. So people get stressed when it comes to short-term lending. Financially, they'll do a deal that's there. It's not necessarily the right reason for doing it. So it's got to be more. I think it will make it more responsible in that point of view. I think it will also regulate a lot of the brokers and introducers of the short-term market because too many still operate without any permissions, and lenders accept business from those without permissions for deals that really shouldn't be going through. If you've got a proper regulated advisor, will still advise on a non-regulated product, whether it's right for you to do or not right for you to do. So I do think to a degree we do need some regulation.
Okay. All right, interesting. Thanks very much.
No problem.